In this specimen, we are going to appreciate the extent of the pharynx and the internal structures of the pharynx as described in yesterday's class. This is the sphenoidal air sinus. So, this is the body of the sphenoid bone. This is the occipital bone. So, either the roof of the nasopharynx or roof of the pharynx itself. Then this part here, this is the anterior arch of the atlas. This is the odontoid process as discussed. C1, C2, C3, C4, C5 and C6. Exactly at the lower border of C6, at the lower border of the cricoid cartilage. This structure here is the cricoid cartilage. So, the lower border of the cricoid cartilage ends the pharynx. So, the upper extent will be the roof of the pharynx, which is the body of the sphenoid bone and the basic occiput. The lower extent will be the lower border of the C6 vertebra and the lower border of the cricoid cartilage. So, now this makes it easier for you to understand the upper end of the esophagus. Where does esophagus start from? The lower border of the C6 vertebra or the lower border of the cricoid cartilage gives rise to the esophagus. So, this structure here that you are seeing, this structure, I hope you are able to see this. This is the esophagus here. So, the pharynx continues as the esophagus. Now, let us look at the internal features of the nasopharynx. Today I am not going to demonstrate to you the muscles of the pharynx, because that you will be able to appreciate only in the cadaver. Full cadaver vachu ஒரு 2-3 cadaver வச்சு காமிச்சா மட்டும்தான் உங்களால் அந்த muscles of the pharynx புரிஞ்சுக்க முடியும். So, now as far as discussion goes, it will always be the sagittal section of the head and neck. So, the specimen that you are seeing here is the sagittal section of the head and neck. So, this is where you will be asked to discuss pharynx. So, please understand, if you are able to identify the structures that I am going to tell you now, should be more than sufficient. So, now let us look at the features of the nasopharynx. Nasopharynx la, this structure here is the pharyngeal tonsil, the nasopharyngeal tonsil. This is the nasopharyngeal tonsil. This is the opening of the eustachian tube. So, in the opening of the eustachian tube, this elevation is the tubal elevation. So, the salpingopharyngeal fold and the salpingoglossal fold. So, this is the tubal opening, tubal elevation, salpingopharyngeal fold and salpingoglossal fold, and this will be the fossa of Rosenmuller. So, these are the structures we expect you to talk about when you are talking when you are demonstrating the interior of nasopharynx. Again, I am repeating: the nasopharyngeal tonsil, the auditory opening of the auditory tube, the tubal elevation created by the tubal tonsil around the auditory tube, the salpingopharyngeal fold and the salpingoglossal fold. This is the fossa of Rosenmuller. Obviously, you already know the nasopharynx communicates with the nasal cavity. So, this structure here that you are seeing is the inferior nasal concha. So, this is the inferior nasal concha. The above two parts of the ethmoid bone has been removed here. So, we are not able to appreciate the middle concha and the superior concha. This is the inferior nasal concha, which is a separate bone. This is the hard palate, the soft palate, and beneath the soft palate we have the oral cavity and the oropharynx. I will stop here. I will get the next specimen for a description of oropharynx.